Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight to celebrate Black History Month with a vibrant program of African storytelling, music, and cultural traditions. My name is Raluca Barbu, and I am the adult programming specialist at the Algonquin Area Public Library. This program was made possible through the collaboration of 19 neighboring libraries. Joining us tonight is the wonderful Elizabeth Kahora, storyteller, musician, teacher, and cultural ambassador for African knowledge in the state of Texas. Elizabeth will guide us through Africa's rich heritage using storytelling, poetry, proverbs, and riddles. She will share with us crafts, wood carvings, handmade instruments, clothing, jewelry, and cultural artifacts. A recording of this program will be made available on the library's YouTube channel in a few days. This is a Zoom webinar, so your microphone and camera will be turned off as an attendee. You can enable closed captioning and you can use the Q&A feature if you have questions, and Elizabeth will gladly answer them at the end of the presentation. And now I will turn it over to you, Elizabeth.
Jambo! Jambo, everybody! Jambo! I am so excited to be back and to join you all in the celebration of Black History Month. A special time for remembering all the achievement that our friends have contributed to this wonderful nation. And to start off, I'm going to take you back to Africa, get you with some African beats where it all started. So my song is the Lion King song called He Lives in Me. Those who have gone, they live in us. It's our responsibility to keep their legacy going, just like we are doing with the Black History Month. Asante Sana, so thank you so much, Ms. Raluca, and thank you so much for allowing me to be back here and to celebrate with you. Asante Sana. Let's play the first song. It's called He Lives in Me. Here we go. This is from Lion King, and it's one of my favorite songs in the Lion King music. And I'm gonna be playing my drum. Tonight, on the spirit of love, calling Mavela and the voice, just the fear of a child. There's no mountain too great. Hear these words of have faith. Into the He lives in me. I remember my mom. She lives in me. My grandma lives in me. She was actually a storyteller. Yay! Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I am so excited to be back here. And today we're talking about the African art. We're talking about the stories from Africa. And as you can see, I have a bunch of beautiful African art to share with you guys. It wouldn't be Africa without all the artistic items, artifacts that we have here. So we're going to talk about the meaning of this beautiful, beautiful African art. Now I'm going to start off by sharing a special PowerPoint just to get us into the geographical feature of Africa. So Ms. Raluca is going to share with us the PowerPoint, and as you can see, that's me dressed in my African attire from the Maasai tradition. Part of me is Maasai. All right, let's go. So we're talking about Africa is the second largest continent in the world. Asia is number one, Africa is number two, and North America, big old North America, is number three. So when we talk about Africa, it's divided into different parts. Let's keep going. We have North Africa, we have South Africa, we have West Africa, we have East Africa, and we have Central Africa. We actually have 55 countries in Africa. Long time ago, we actually used to have only 54, but now Sudan has been divided into two. So we have North Africa and North Sudan and South Sudan. That's why it becomes 55 countries. Always remember, audience, that Africa is not a country. Africa is a continent. Now, all the different patches that you see there, those are the countries. I know we kind of sometimes confuse with calling Africa a country. No, Africa is a big old continent, right? So the next thing we're going to see is the people of Africa. Keep going. That's the equator. Some people, that's an airport. Some people live in the villages. Some people live in the city. Now, when I travel to Africa, I have to use the airplane. I'm hoping this year I get to go see my family, and that's where I'm going to be landing, just to show you that we got some things that are in common in Africa. That's our airport, the Jomo Kenyatta Airport. Now, I come from Kenya. Kenya is in east of Africa, that little red country there, and that is where some of my stuff that I'll be sharing is actually from my country, Kenya. I try to mix it up from other countries too, just to give you a taste of different arts from Africa. Now, we have beautiful people from Africa. Like, the Maasai. Always remember that Africa is the world's second most populous continent. More than 1 billion people, 55 countries, 2,000 languages, and many, many, many dialects. Yes, I myself can actually speak 5 languages, because where I come from in Kenya, we have 42 different languages. So I can speak my own mother tongue. If I say Nyatia, and then I can also speak the national language that's spoken in most of the eastern part of Africa. If I say Jambo, sometimes you can hear a little bit of, you may have heard it, some Swahili when you heard this song, Hakuna Matata. Yeah, that is actually my national language. And then I can speak other tribal languages. I also had to learn how to speak the most difficult language of them all, and that is English. English is not easy, But if you want to learn about other people's culture, if you want to understand people better, it's good to learn their language too, to learn their tradition. That's why I was able to learn English, and that's how I'm able to communicate with you. Now, next one. We are going to we're going to see the people of Africa. There we go. We got the Maasai people. Those are beautiful, authentic people from east of Africa. They are known to be tall and slender. And when you see them jump like that, that's their way of dancing. And they actually move from one place to another. So they are nomads. They move from one place to another. Those are our indigenous people from East Africa. The next one. And then we got their beautiful girls. The next one. And then we have the Tanzania. And then we have the beautiful Fulani people. These are from West Africa. Love the Fulani people. They decorate themselves with beautiful necklaces. They have beautiful outfits. Those are people from the Fulani. You also see the Yoruba, the Igbo. They also like to dress up in such beautiful outfit. Then you can see those are people from Sierra Leone. Yeah. Those are people from the south of Africa, the Xhosa people. The Xhosa people, and the San people dress up in beautiful outfits like this. So that is South Africa. That's Malawi. That's Morocco. That's Sudan. That's Niger. That's Nigerian. That's Ghana. We talk a little bit about Ghana. That's Central Africa. We have beautiful Ethiopian people. We have the Zulu, again from South Africa. The Cameroon. We have the Turkana. I also like to remind, especially when I do these programs for schools, I remind them that we also have children just like them who go to school in Africa. Yeah, they are surprised that, oh, we got children just like us. Yeah, that's me. When I go back to Africa, because being a teacher, I love to teach. So when I go back to Africa, sometimes I get a chance to talk to the kids there. So like today we're talking about Africa. Sometimes I like to call this show a little day in Africa. So when I go back, I always like to teach them a day in United States. Or sometimes I live in Texas, so I teach them about a day in Texas. And the kids they ask me so many questions. So people in Texas, do they ride horses going to school? So I have to share all this information because now I have the advantage to be able to go to different continents. So that's me. Some people live in the villages. We're going to tell a little story about a village here. And I'll be talking about some of what happens in a village. Just a little teaser. There's this saying that says, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to raise a child. Everybody has a role in the village. And that is why you see when those houses are together like that, everybody has their own role in each of the house there. Community. That's another village. That's how the Maasai people, they're nomadic people. But we also have apartments. I will remind people that Africa is not just made of little huts. We also have beautiful apartments in Africa. Those are some of the city apartments. Now you can see we actually do have beautiful houses in Africa. You might find them in the city. You also find them in the suburbs. Beautiful homes there, right? Those are from Africa, I promise you. That's my home. That's me and my mom. Home sweet home. So when I go home, this is where I stay. That's my beautiful home. And we also have chicken and cows in my home, right there. So we have a city. I know you guys have the beautiful Chicago, Illinois. Yeah, Chicago. Chicago is the capital city of Yeah, 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 Illinois, right? So that is, if I'm not mixing it up. So that's your city. This is my city. That's another city. Keep going. Then we have Johannesburg, one of the biggest cities in Africa. Then we have Lagos. We have Cairo. We have supermarkets, just like everybody else have supermarkets in Africa. Gas stations, right? Just like so we have different games. There we go. We can play games here. Look, we're known to have sports. Very good. And then let's go to a little bit of the savannah. We have the big five there. We have the Simba. We have the Ndovu. That's the elephant. We have the Nyati. That's the buffalo. We have Kifaru. Just a little one more there. We have, so they can see the what, there you go. And then we have the Chewy, that's the leopard. Those are the big five. The big five are known to be one of the main animals in the savannah, and they were called the big five because they were the most hunted many years ago, and they were the prominent animals in the savannah. Those are the Simbas, the buffaloes, the Kifarus. Let's keep going. Some of them, they like to camouflage like the leopard. There we go. We have the elephants, the zebras, and the wildebeest, the twigas. We have the dumas, beautiful dumas. All the water animals, and the nyani or the tumbili, the birds. And then we have the flamingos, the ostrich, all of these other animals that you may find in the savannah. Then we have the wonders of Africa. So we have the pyramids of Egypt, or the pyramids of Giza. We have the Gorogoro crater and the Table Mountains. Those are some of the wonders that you may find in Africa. And then we have, let's go to the next one. This is the Serengeti migration. That is one of the 7 wonders of Africa. Very phenomenal. If you ever wanted to go to Africa, go during the time when this migration is happening. Actually, it's going to be starting in April. It starts in April all the way in August. It's phenomenal to see all these animals cross different places in search of food. Then we have, those are some of the wonders. Of course, we have trees there. We drink tea, is one of our cash crops in Africa. We have coffee. We have sweet potato, all the vegetables. Of course, just like we have tortillas here, we also have tortillas in Africa. We have chicken. We have the same kind of food. We may just spice it up a little bit or cook it a little bit different, but it's actually the same food. And then, of course, we're going to say bye, yeah? And Lala Salama, but don't Lala Salama on me yet. Don't go now. Those are some of the words you can learn later. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're done here. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the African art. I'm going to go ahead and show you the village that we're going to be using in Africa as we talk about Africa. So we have the village set up. We have the people, the wood carvings. As you can see, the wood carvings. All the African art, they're not just for decoration. They actually have a meaning. Like this one here represents wisdom. Respecting our elders. That's wisdom. So we have, for example, we also have this one here. When it comes to people, this is soapstone, talking about family, the importance of having a strong family. And then we have, of course, we have the animals. The animal, all made of wood carvings. Look at that. Beautiful. The lion, Simba. And we also have, the little car here that represents safari, This is actually made, little kids actually make this kind of little cars. These are like a jeep. It's made of metal and bottle tops. Creativity. So since they can't buy all this stuff in the store, they just become creative, and that's one of the creativities that they have. So I also wanted to show you the beautiful, one of the most important cooking item, and that's the nyungu. This is called the nyungu, the pot. We'll talk about the pot in a few minutes here, but before we talk about the pot, I want to introduce some of the clothing that you will find in Africa. So what I'm wearing today is called a kaftan. A kaftan is simply, pants and a shirt. I bring out all the green. I thought the green would kind of stand out with all the beautiful African art here. But I wanted to introduce one of the main West African outfit. Like you saw when we did the PowerPoint, we have the kente. The kente colors. These are royal colors. The kente colors. People wear kente colors. The kings used to wear the kente colors so they can stand out. It's a sign of loyalty. And the pattern is all, just have different shapes, meaning different things. But this is the kente colors. The kente colors from Ghana. Now, I also wanted to show you another beautiful outfit, or another beautiful clothing here. Kind of show you that we have something in common here. This is tie-dye. This is tie-dye. I remember I used to use tie-dye clothing for so many things. Now, for example, just to go back to the pot here, when I was a little kid, actually from around 8 years old, you learn different roles in Africa. So I learned how to use a kanga. This is called a kanga. A kanga, you can call it a batik, or it's tie-dye. So you can do so many things with this kanga. You can make a skirt. We can say that. You can make a skirt. You can make a scarf. But one thing is, when you have this kanga, for example, when I go back to Africa, and sometimes I visit my grandmother calls me by my middle name, Wangare, and I go, yo, Wangare, enda ukachote maji. Wangare, go get us some water. So I'm going to get my pot, and I'm going to go to the river, and I fill my pot with water. Then I place it on the side, right there. Now, see something else you can use with the kanga. I take my kanga, and I'm going to make a shape here. Look at that. Yeah. Don't try this at home if it's something very precious you don't want to break. Yeah. And then I make a circle there. Then I'm going to put this right on the middle of my head. This is a pot made of clay. And then I'm going to balance this pot. If you guys can see me here. Yeah. Look at that. And I can walk all the way back to the village. Of course, I'll be standing straight here. Look at that. So that's another thing that you do with the kanga. Talking about the kanga too, I have a son, and he's now 27 years old. But before he was 27 years old, he was a baby. So I'm going to show you another different kind of kanga here. A beautiful kanga. I wanted to bring this out because this Saturday we're going to be talking about Valentine. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? It actually has the East African countries, and it have the hats. I like to show this kanga because I like to remind my audience that love is better. Love is kind. Love is better. So when we are wearing our kanga, that's also something else. We like to bring out different statements. So my son, when he was a baby, and I had to do so many chores, So here's my son. Let's just pretend this is my son. I had to carry my son on the back. So I'll show you how we carry babies in Africa. Hope I don't drop this baby now. That's a lot of trouble, right? And then I get my kanga, kind of like the sling. We have a sling in United States too, right? So we have so many things in common. And then I tie like that. Make sure his little legs are out. And then I make a knot. I make a knot right there. Definitely, look at that. There goes my baby right there. So right now I can do so many things. I can go get some water while my baby is at the back, on the back, right there. I can cook some food. Look at this. I can cook some food while my baby is still at the back. And they really, really love the back. So once the baby sleeps, I can take him out, bring it up round, and gently tie the kanga around him, and the baby goes to sleep. So that's the kanga. That's another way of using the kanga. So let me show you one more kanga here. It's also Valentine, but I like this one here. Beautiful, beautiful pink. And some of the kanga, they have funny sayings. Like this one here says, in Swahili it says, Jambo sina kunyanyaswa sitaki. You mind your own business. Just to bring that, oh, okay, she didn't want to be bothered here. So when you wear the kanga, it's like, I'm too busy, mind your own business. So jambo sina kunyanyaswa sitaki. I just want to do my thing. Just a little statement here. So another outfit I would like to introduce is the Ethiopian. The Ethiopian. We're talking about African art today here. So we talk about the Ethiopian clothing here. And you can see if this Ethiopian clothing is called Yaga Libs. Yaga Libs. So it has, you can know what clothing comes from where by the pattern. You can see this is really Ethiopian pattern. And the cool thing about this outfit, for me, what I do with this outfit, I can wear it like this and sleep and wake up and wear it this way. Nobody will ever know that this is just one dress. So I love the Yaga Libs. Beautiful, beautiful Yaga Libs. Of course, we can't forget our hunters. The hunters, those people who live in the rural areas. Like I said, the people who live in the city, they dress up just like the way we dress up here in United States with jeans and tennis shoes and all that. But we're talking about the roots of the African Americans, just to show you some of the clothing that they would wear. So this isn't that beautiful? This is another kanga. So for the hunter, he would wear it like this. And with that green, it would camouflage, right? Yeah. And of course, don't forget, the hunter has to carry his bow and arrow. Look at that. Here's a real hunter right there. So you can see he has this shield. This shield is from South Africa. It's made of hind skin, of cowhide. Yeah, you can see that. Those shapes again. These shapes remind us of South Africa. So different shapes present different communities. Now we have the arrow, and here the hunter does his job. I want you guys to know this because when I tell the story, you're gonna understand why I'm bringing out all this information. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the people of Africa. We talked about the people, and of course the beautiful jewelry. We can't forget to talk about the beautiful Maasai jewelry. Look at that. So I had this made for me when I went to Africa. And when I talk about this jewelry, I like to emphasize on the meaning of the jewelry. So that's for the neck. And you have the hair. I just put it a little temporary there, as you can see. Isn't that beautiful? That's so pretty, right? The Maasai people love to wear this beautiful headgear, during weddings, or as a part, rite of path. But I also like to remind my audience that necklaces, they're not just put for decoration, they have a meaning. For example, you see all these beautiful strands. I like to remind the audience that they come with a meaning. Maybe she was rewarded for her honesty, maybe her hard work, maybe her kindness, maybe her being a good mother. All those positive qualities represent each strand. I always like to remind my audience that when you make good choices, good things come to you. So that's the beautiful, beautiful necklace. Show you that they're not just for decoration, they have meaning. That's the men. The men wear this, in some of them big ones also, and many of them, right? The more necklaces you have, the more information you remind people of what you have done. Now, the next thing we're talking about is the music. Let's talk about the music of Africa. Before we do that, I can't forget to show you this beautiful gourd. This is a gourd. It's made of calabash, kind of like in the pumpkin family. This is very important in the African community, especially in East Africa. It's for hunters, they would carry cold water, or at home they would use it to put, to make sour milk. Sour milk. We call it maziwa lala, sour milk. So they'll put it there, and you shake it. Or even when you go to the river, you can carry water. So that's another little item that you use to carry stuff. So what I wanted to talk about is also the music of Africa before we tell the story here. So we have different instruments that represent different parts of Africa. So this one here, right here, as you can see, this is called a talking drum. This one you find it in West Africa. They call it a talking drum because they use it to communicate different information. Apart from entertainment, it's used to communicate different information. So it has a stick like this, like a hoop. And what you do is you play, and as you play, you kind of you squeeze it up and down to bring different beats like this. It says, "Welcome to Africa." So if there's a wedding, there's a different beat. But if there's important information, maybe there's some calamity that has happened, so the word goes on. And everybody knows, they're talking about we gotta be aware something is happening. And then there comes harvest time. So you can see different beats, different occasions, different concepts. We have here, and these are just some of my instruments. I normally have so many instruments. When I do a show, The Sound of Africa, I get to talk about more instruments. But today I just wanted to introduce here. This one here is called a malimba. Looks like a xylophone. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, we call it marimba. Now we have this one here. That's the important one. Maybe you've seen this before. This is called, it looks like a shaker, right? We call it shekere. Shekere. It's made of a gourd, and some people they use cowrie shell. Again, in West Africa they use cowrie shell, but this is from my country. It's the same shaker, but we use seeds. So different, the same concept but different design, right? Sometimes we also use cowrie shells, more cowrie shells here. So this is the shaker. We call it shekere. Important thing to know, we actually call our instruments, we name our instruments the way they sound. Shekere, shekere, shekere. I like to think that myself. So, and then, of course, we got the good old agogo, the bell. That's the agogo for you. And then we have the shaker made of bottle tops. Those are bottle tops, those roaring bottle tops, right? They smash them and do those instruments. To show you that there's creativity in Africa. There's creativity. They may not have all the mechanical advantage like we have in United States, but they want to enjoy music, so they create music. I got something like a guitar here. I like this one. This is called wandende, That's the wandende, right? This is hind skin. Very, very creative. Look at that. This is from West Africa and East Africa too. We also have the tak-tak drum. And we have the goat skin drum. This is from my country in Kenya. That's the goat skin drum. Wait a minute. I gotta show you this one here. I hope you guys can see this one. This one here is called the kling kling. It's from the family of the dundan drums, right? So if I can maybe put it up here a little bit to show you, right there. So you have the two sticks, and you can play like this. That's the cling cling from the dundan drums. So not to forget our djembe. Do you know the most interesting thing when the people make the djembes? They actually carve this instrument out of the tree. So they get up, the log is there, they just draw the outlet and they just carve it out until when it's done they just pull out the drum, and then now they put the hind skin and they put the strings to bring out the sound, and voila, they make a djembe. This is from Senegal. Yeah, so those are the instruments of Africa. I hope maybe we touched most of what we were supposed to touch here. We got some friends here. They represent the African family here. The African, you can see that's the shirt that this handsome man is wearing. These are the Andikila prints. They always have a meaning. Like you can see they have like little water, meaning forever. Now we also have the busy mama. Remember busy mama like me carries their baby, and the hairdo, like to wear those cornrows, right? So those are some of the African art. Talking about the clothing, as you can see, we got the mud print. This is mud print. This is an authentic mud print from Mali. And the shapes, the mud print, as you can see, it has white and black. This is actually paint. The paint is actually made of mud. That they ferment the mud for a couple of weeks, and then they put that little chalky color. They take it from their rivers, and they make this beautiful print. Those cowrie shells that you find on this mud print, they mean wealth, and the little snaky kind of a stream, it means forever. As you can see, all the art has a meaning. Now, before we go to the story, I wanted to maybe see what else I can talk about here. We talked about the clothing. We talked about the cooking. Sometimes we like to use the sagiri. You know, this is like what you use for barbecue. This is what we use for when cooking. When we're not cooking with firewood, we can use the sagiri. You know, we put charcoal and we get to cook with that. Now, when we want to cook, we want to make sure that we have clean food. Let's say, for example, we have the beans there. This is called a kitewe. And we go where the wind is, and we do the winnowing, and we get all the chaff out. So that is the African, those are some of the African art. You know, the cowrie shells as a sign of wealth. Now let me talk a little bit about this one. One more. This one is interesting. I got this one not too long ago when I went back to Africa. And you know, sometimes you find people who move from one place to place, they carry it, you know, sometimes with their hand like that. This one here is a stool. And it's a multi-purpose stool. So when the herders, those who take care of the cattle from one place to another, the nomads, the one who move from one place to another, so they use this when they get to a place where they have to let the cows graze. They sit on it. They sit on it as a stool. But at night, sometimes they have to spend the night in the grasslands there. They use it as a pillow. So they use it as a pillow. So they sleep on it so that bugs would not enter their ears. So I found that very interesting. So that's a stool from the Turkana people. Yeah, so those are some of the beautiful art. I'm going to give you a chance to ask me questions in a few minutes here. But before I do that, I'm going to tell you a little story. Can I tell you a story? Are you ready to hear a story about this beautiful, beautiful village? So in Africa, when we want to tell stories, when I say story, you guys say story come. Story, come. Story come. I want to make sure that we have all the setup right there. So I'll teach you how to say story come in my language. So one of the things that I do when I'm teaching about Africa, I teach about Africa through performance art. I teach about Africa through, like we did last year we did Kwanzaa. I do music. Today we're doing Echoes of Africa, so we're bringing everything together, the African art, the music, and the stories. So it's another way to show that Africa has so many stuff to learn about. You can never teach about Africa in only 45 minutes. It's diverse, it's vast. So we do it in, bits by bits. So I'm going to tell you a story. My story is called Jamari's Drum. So when I say story, once more, it will say story come. Story come. Story come. I'll teach you in my language. When I say hadithi, you guys say hadithi jo. Hadithi jo. And sometimes I could go ahead and say pau kwapa kawasa hania. Don't worry about that part. So I have a story here. This is from West Africa, and I'm gonna use my djembe to tell my story. Before I tell the story, I'm gonna recite a special poem for you in honor of Black History Month. And my poem is called Never Lose the Power to Dream. Whatever you lose, whatever you give up, never give up the power to dream. Never lose the power to see tomorrow as a new day. And with a new power to dream. Never lose the power to see faces decorated with smiles. Even when sometimes everyone is wearing a long face, just think beyond that. Never lose the power to see the clouds gathering, even when it burns like an oven. Focus your eyes on the distance. It will soon rain. The power to dream. Never lose the power to see a forest where the ground has been bare. To see the dawn where there's only been dusk. Never lose the power to dream. For if you do not dream, then what is there to live for, my friends? Dreams are the fuel of our souls. The power to dream. On the slopes of Mount Kilimanjaro, there lived a very honest young man by the name Babam Dogo. Though he was a small man, he had a big role in the village, and his main role was to play the drum. Let's go. Every morning he would wake up and get his kubwa chapa, and he would sit right at the corner of the village because he knew his role in that village was to play the drum. In the evening, he would take his kubwa chapa and go home. But again in the morning, he would wake up again. And again, he would sit right at the corner of the village because he knew his role was to play the drum. Let's go. In that village, there also lived a young man by the name Jamari. Now, Jamari was a hunter. Sometimes he would go out and he would go hunting and bring food. And he was also very hardworking. He would go out and help the parents, fetch some water. But before he went to sleep, he always liked to sit close by Babam Dogo because he liked to hear Babam Dogo play the drum. One day, Jamari got up and he looked at Babam Dogo and he said, "Baba, why do you always play the drum? Don't you get tired?" Babam Dogo said, "Oh, I was waiting for you to ask me this question. Listen, mtoto wangu, my child, if I don't keep the drum beats alive, Opaka the mountain will not be appeased and he will consume the whole village." Ojamari didn't understand, but still, he always sits right at the corner of the village after he's done with all his chores because he liked to hear the dogo play the drum. One day, Babam Dogo got up and he said, "Oh, Jamari, I think it's my time to move on. Now it's your time to play the drum. Remember, you gotta keep the drum beats alive so that Opaka the mountain will be appeased." Oh, Jamari was so excited. So he sits right at the corner of the village and he starts to play the drum because Babam Dogo left and he never came back again. In the beginning, Jamari was very good at playing the drum, but he was also preoccupied, a little bit distracted, doing other things. He had so many chores. In fact, Jamari got a big family and he decides, I don't see anything happening to Opaka the mountain. So he takes the big drum and he put it in the shed and he forgets all about the drum. Now remember, Opaka the mountain said that he has to keep the drum beats alive. Now, Opaka the Mountain is patient. He waits. Maybe Jamari will get sense of it. Maybe these people will remember about their where they came from. No sound. Opaka the Mountain is very patient. He waits for 1, moja, mbili, tatu, ine, tano. Oh, the 6th man, he did not hear any drum beats. And Opaka the Mountain said, oh, these people have forgotten all about their tradition. I think it's time to wake them up. So he started boiling from beneath. He started boiling from beneath. Oh, Jamari remembered. So he went to the shed, got his drum beat, because the village was in trouble. Woo! Trouble, 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 trouble. And he sits right at the corner of the village, right at the corner, and he begins to play he forgot the tune. He forgot the tune because he has not been practicing. If we do not practice, we will forget. But because we want to keep our values alive, he looked at the villagers and he said, Saidia, help! You remember? It takes a village to raise a child. And everybody said, yes, 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 yes. We're going to help Jamari, remember? So everybody got up and they started singing together. Let's go. As long as the drum beats were kept alive, Opaka the Mountain was always at peace. Do not forget to keep good traditions. End of my story. Yay! This story reminds us the importance of keeping good tradition. Black History Month is a good tradition. It reminds us of who we are. It brings out all the values of who was there before us so that we can learn from them. And that is a tradition that we gotta keep. Always remember to keep good tradition. Thank you so much. We're gonna finish up. Can we finish up with a song? Oh, we don't have time. One little song.
Go ahead.
Are you guys enjoying the show? I want to give you time to ask me questions, so I'm gonna just do a little song with you guys. Last time I played the song, but not everybody had it. So I want you guys to go out there and spread all this good information. Whatever you pick, spread it in the north, spread it in the south, in the west, in the east. It's all yours now, because wisdom gained is wisdom shared. When you have wisdom, when you don't share wisdom, then it's not important. It's until you share it. So just a little dance here. So you're gonna face this side. I know you guys are facing this side. Roll your hands. Everybody say kalimba. This is from South Africa. They like to use their legs. Go kalimba. Oh, this is the other side. Say kalimba. Give me the good energy. Like we're gonna sharing, because sharing is caring here, right? Ah. So the song is gonna say, we going north. You guys say north, north. We going south, south, south. We going west, west, west. We going east, east, east. As simple as that. So we're gonna start it. We'll just do a little bit of it, so we can have time to ask questions here. Just 1 minute. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your patience. Here we go. This is all the way from South Africa. Thank you for coming today. Remember, it takes a village to raise a child. Keep good traditions. They are your values. Gonna be alright. Love is better. Hey! Come on and have some fun. Join the party, each and every one. Kalimba, Kalimba, oh, Kalimba. Wow! Yay! Everybody say Asante Sana. If you have a question, do they have questions, Miss?
Yes, Elizabeth. So
Yes.
listen, somebody is sharing. Karen says that I've been fortunate to spend a lot of time in Africa.
Uh-huh.
Kenya is a second home for me, so I very much appreciated all you shared.
Oh,
Asante sana.
Asante Sana, Asante Sana. Thank you. Karibu, karibu, karibu. You're welcome to Kenya anytime.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Another patron says, many thanks for this outstandingly educational and enjoyable program.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I have to admit, I was dancing with you and a few of my colleagues in the back room. So, you are just one ray of sunshine. That's what you are, Elizabeth. And it's been
Asante
just
Sana.
amazing. People are saying fantastic and they thank you.
Uh-huh.
And I'm really glad you got to share the Kwanzaa program, which
Yeah.
was like incredible, and this one too. So
Thank
keep
you.
doing the good work, okay?
Thank you. Thank you. I hope to
And thank
see
you
you
for
all
being
again.
here.
Yeah, and if you
See
have
you.
questions, just let Miss Raruka know. I am always ready to answer.
Everybody's saying very enjoyable. Thank you.
Thank
Great energy. Thank you
thank
so much. Love it. Love it. You are wonderful. Great
you.
experience. In person would have been much better. That is for sure true.
One of these
You're
days.
wonderful. Okay. Yeah, a lot of people say that they visited Kenya and they did. They went on a safari in Tanzania. So, oh, and they had so much fun. The color and the energy is amazing. I love learning about everything, and I had a wonderful time. When is your next presentation? She's asking. Yeah, so we have a different, oh, not anymore. We had the Kwanzaa one in
Yeah.
December.
We get the
Wonderful, and
sound of
you learned a
Africa.
lot. Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
this has been great. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for doing this.
Thank
And
you.
thank you everybody for joining us. I'm sure you had a good time and you learned a lot about African culture and art. And I feel very fortunate to have been able to share this with everybody. So thank you again and
Thank
have a
you.
wonderful night.
Yeah. Love is better. Bye,
Love
y'all.
is better. Bye.
Bye.